Hey guys, it's layout update time. Been working on the yard over here, getting the ground cover going. As you can see, yard looks pretty barren with everything taken off. Got the background taken down, all the little toilet paper rolls, palm trees, little couple flats, things I had, some buildings right there. And I started laying down the ground cover here. This is gonna be, the whole yard is gonna get covered here. We still got a ballast and everything. And then also the lift up bridge and then this north end of the layout. Still got to lay that down. Probably end up doing that today. You can see the lift up bridge here. See how it works. Let me show you there. Try not to shake it around, but you can see the rails are cut right there. Work perfectly fine. And then over on this end, I got two screws sitting here. And they correspond to the holes in these two blocks right over here. Now, I haven't cleaned this up, so there's a little dirt there. It might be a little crusty, but as you can see, slides right down. And this track is not glued down yet, the main line right here, so it's pretty much lined up, but we'll finish that up in a bit. This, on the other hand, is all nice and lined up, perfectly fits right there. And that's how my lift up bridge works, but we're going to continue the dirt over here all the way around. I did make one small change to the yard. I added a little bit more track over here to this holding spur. So if you recall, I had this little spur right here that came out to, where is it? Someplace right around here, right there. And that's where I would park a couple of locomotives here. The SD40T-2s would usually sit over here. After they run into the layout, drop their cars off, they would kind of park it right here until they're needed for an outbound run. They'd come over here, pick up their outbound cars, and head on out. But I was parking the local, which is one of the trains there that goes out into the layout. On this track right here, which is sort of the runaround that I'm using currently. And then I would park the yard goat, or GP15, kind of right in this section over here. So they all fit right there. But since I got the new locomotive in for Christmas, you know, that I've been running around, I needed a little bit more parking space here. So what I did was I actually found an old piece of track, and again, this is all just covered in dirt right now, and spliced it in right there, kind of added it in all the way to over here. So that gives me a little bit more storage right here. Now I still have two tracks back here in this corner for storage, and these two tracks actually are on a switch. I've got two switches down here to isolate those two tracks, and that's kind of what I'm planning on doing with the track over here. I think I'm gonna have three switches. I'm gonna have one for this guy right here for the sort of dead end spur right over there, and then I'm actually gonna splice, kind of cut the track right here. I'm gonna have another switch for just this section where I park the yard switcher, and then this will be the other section right here. So I have three switches down on the fascia for that. Anyway, yeah, so just laid down all the dirt over here. Let me go over how I do that. It's pretty straightforward, you know, laying dirt. What are you going to do? So I go out into my garden. I get some dirt, kind of grind it up a little bit. You know, it's pretty dry anyway. This is California. But you know, have a couple of flat bricks, just kind of break it up a little bit. And then I sift it with a big sifter, right? Get all the big chunks out, rocks, twigs, that kind of stuff like that. And then what I do, come over here, show you this. Here it is. This is all the dirt that's been sifted, and you can see it's pretty powdery because I mix it with a little bit of grout. And let me grab this grout here and show you what it is. Try to get it on here. There you go. So I go to Home Depot or Lowe's. Lowe's is actually my preference there. I get some of this unsanded grout. If you get the sanded stuff, it's got like sand, it's got grit in it. This is unsanded, it is powder. And you can see the color I use here is called light almond, but it's just very, very light, light tan. I just mix that in with the dirt. and give it a good stir in that pail. And then what I do is, while you're at Lowe's picking up your grout, pick up one of these. It's you know, your Elmer's glue, all purpose, good old stuff. You get a big bucket like this for like, I don't know, $5 or something like that. This is what, 1 gallon of it. And this thing's lasted me forever, although I'm using quite a bit of it over here, because then what I do is I pour out a little bit of this onto, bring this over here, got a little Tupperware right there. I just fill that up with glue about halfway. Put in some water just to thin it out a little bit. I make the consistency, I notice it's kind of like paint. So I put in just a little bit of water, not a ton, but just to thin out the glue a little bit. And I noticed that it's sort of like the same consistency as a paint in a can kind of deal. And then got my El Cheapo brush it all down. Kind of got to work in sections because the glue starts to kind of congeal and do all this weird stuff. But working about like 2-3 foot sections. Cover it all down, and then I take a little bucket or a little pail I got here that I got at Lowe's too. Fill it up with some of my dirt. Here's one of my little tiny screens. Dump it out and just kind of shake it around, back and forth all over the place. Kind of cover everything up and let it dry. And you can see it kind of dries out here. There's just still a few little damp spots here. You get a couple little cracks like this. And when I lay down the glue, it's pretty thick. Like, it's covered. It's not just a little sheen. I mean, it's a good thick dose of glue on there. I found that works best. Otherwise, you get excuse me, you get little spots that, you know, get whatever. Not the glue dries up or it's not thick enough, and you got to keep going over it. I found that back over in that corner when I was doing that. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do ground cover. Then, after it's all dry, which will be probably later today, and a few little cracks right here, I come back and I either vacuum or just brush off. Brush it off like this. Now, because of the grout mixture in it, it's pretty dusty, and I don't know if you can see all the dust right there just from doing that. But I used to vacuum it up with, you know, my shop vac, put a little, you know, kind of sock pantyhose type deal on it, and, you know, try to save some of it, but, you know, it's dirt. I got tons of it, and the grout's pretty cheap anyway. So I think I'm just going to vacuum it all up and keep the dust down, because then trying to kind of collect some of it off with the brush like this, it just gets too dusty, especially here in the garage. And, yeah, and then we can continue on with getting the track ballasted. Now you can see I didn't do this side right here between these two rails, because that's all going to be ballast anyway. I did run it all the way along the back side there, and yeah, looking pretty good. So just a quick update here, getting everything done. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. Check out some of my other videos. I got trains running, all sorts of good operations videos and layout updates over here. And we're gonna have trains running shortly here. Hopefully I get this stuff cleaned up today, get the end done today, tonight, and then tomorrow. Should clean that all up and we can get back to running trains. You can see I temporarily spotted all the trains down there in Cerritos and La Mirada. They're all staged right over there for our yard construction here. All right, till next time guys, take care.